Okay, so last week we talked about the 10 Commandments, and we talked about how the first 4 were duties toward God, and the last 6 were duties toward man. So we're going to kind of pick up from that today, but we're going to talk about how idols were being worshipped in the form of a golden calf. So it says, do you remember our story last week about letting God control how we act from inside us? When we can learn to do this, we will act right, and we can be trusted by others. Joshua had learned when he was a very young boy to obey God. He knew that God was righteous and perfect. He knew that God's rules and commandments were there to help him in his life. When others did not obey God or turned away from God, Joshua was faithful. After Moses died, Joshua was the one who took God's people into the land God had promised them. God led Joshua and the people to the Jordan River. Then God said, "Just as I parted the waters of the Red Sea many years ago, so I will part the Jordan to take you to a new and wonderful land and new wonderful life. The land you will live is a land of great beauty. You will not lack anything, just walk into the waters and have the priests step into the river. As their feet touch the waters will part, and I will bring dry land upon your feet. Then you will cross the river on dry land." And this is what Joshua did. As priests stepped into the water, the dry land came up under their feet, and all the people crossed over onto dry land into the promised land. There were still people in the land who worshipped other gods, but God's people did not fear them now. They knew that God would give them the land. The first city they came to was the city of Jericho. Do you remember what happened when Joshua, Caleb, and the 10 other spies went to the land of Moses? Now Joshua would send spies into the city of Jericho. When the spies returned this time, they told the people that all the people in Jericho were afraid of the Israelites. They would conquer the city easily if God obeyed. Joshua followed God's command exactly. The people did all that God had told them to do. God's plan was for them to march around the city once for 6 days. On the 7th day, the people would march around the city of Jericho 7 times, then blow their trumpets. Then the city's walls would fall. This is exactly what the people did. Each day for 6 days, the people walked once around the great city. Then on the 7th day, it came. This day, the people would walk around the walls of the city 7 times, then blow their trumpets. As this was done, the walls of the city fell down, and the Israelites destroyed the city. Again, God had shown that if his people obeyed, he would bless their lives with success and happiness. The Israelites would be joyful and happy because of what God had done for them. Okay, so we're going to transition into our Bible workbook pages. It's lesson 31. It's going to be page 125 in your workbook. You have those at home. And we're going to talk about when God had finished giving Moses the 10 Commandments and many other laws. Moses came down from Mount Sinai. He was excited to share with God's people what had been given to them. What do you think Moses expected the people of Israel to be doing? So when Moses came back down, you're going to write just what you think Moses expected the people of Israelites to be doing. Okay? So I would think that a lot of that would be that Moses expected that they'd be praising God and they'd be patiently waiting on him to return. So write what you think. But when Moses got to the Israelites, what did he find? Moses found a golden calf. The children of Israel were dancing around the golden calf and bowing down to it. They had made a false god of it. Moses called his brother Aaron and asked him where the golden calf came from. Aaron explained that all the people brought their golden earrings to him. Then he built a big fire. All the gold was melted in the fire and was made into the golden calf. Go back and look over the 10 Commandments once again. What commandments were the children of Israel disobeying? Write those commandments below. The one that comes to mind is you shall have no other gods before me. So that's on your first line. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol. That's the other one. You shall not make for yourself an idol. So the first one's going to be you shall have no other gods before me. The second one is going to be you shall not make for yourself an idol. Okay? And on the bottom, you're going to have to connect the dots, and it's going to form what they were worshiping and putting in place of God. Okay? All right, let's look at page 126. There's some pictures that you're going to use to help you answer those 6 questions. Listed below the questions are 6 answers. Find the correct answer and write its letter in the blank before each question. So we're on page 126 in your Bible workbook. We're going to work through this together. Okay? Who was placed in charge of the children of Israel when Moses went up to the mountain to talk with God? If you see a picture on D, that's a picture of Aaron. Okay, so D. Number 2, what should Aaron have said when the Israelites wanted him to make a god for them? He should have said F. No, that would be a great sin. So number 1 is D, 2 is F. Okay. What did Aaron ask the people to bring to him? Good. They're gold jewelry. They're golden jewelry. They're earrings that were made of gold. So 3 would be A. Who wrote the 10 Commandments on 2 tablets of stone? It would be B, God. God did. So number 4 is B. So 1 is D, 2 is F, 3 is A, 4 is B. How did he write them? He used his hands and his fingers on the stone tablet. So C, his finger. And then E is 6. What should we do if we sin and break God's commandments? We should pray and ask for forgiveness. So that is your number 6E. Okay, so 1 is D, 2 is F, 3 is A, 4 is B, 5 is C, and 6 is E. Okay, let's flip over to the back of that. It's page 127, and we're going to take a look at the Let's Review section. It says, circle the best answer to the picture to complete each sentence. The Israelites called the time when God spared their firstborn because the blood was placed over their doors was called what? And you should have said Passover. Okay, the Sabbath day was a day of work, a feast day, or a day for worship. And it's a day of worship. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Bitter means a happy smile, crying, or the mad face. The mad face. This is bitter. I can do really bitter face because I'm hardly ever bitter. All right, 4. God provided food called manna that tasted like honey and looked like the crackers. So the last picture of the bowl of crackers or the wafers. Quail is a kind of bird that looks like. Does it look like this crow-looking thing, a small little bird, or a turkey? It's the middle, the small little bird. Okay. All right, 6. An image carved in a stone is an idol. Okay. Telling lies about others is to be a false witness, so the middle one. 7 is a false witness. And when we desire something that belongs to someone else, we covet. So the middle one for that one. And when we say that God is perfect and righteous, we mean that he is covet, murmur, or holy. He is holy. So we know that our God is a holy God. Excuse me. Okay, so for your verse this week, you're going to find that you have 1 John 4, 7 through 11. So we're kind of transitioning, adding that. You're just going to write that one time for this week because we're doing 2 Bible lessons this week in 1 week, okay? Because I want to get us done with our Bible material for the school year, okay? So do your best work. If you need to revert back to this video, please do. I miss you, I love you, and I'm praying for you. This is my time that I miss the most, is just being able to speak truth to you about our gracious God who is holy, okay? I love you guys. Do your best work on this new week of learning, okay? I'll see you soon.